I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-Minute Convos, where I help you create a brand of your own unique real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Melisa Agnes. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I am doing magnificently.
Oh,
How about you?
I'm excellent. I'm really excited to have a conversation with you. I'll tell you. What part of the world are you in right now?
Right now I'm in Montreal.
All right. We were there for Montreal Jazz. It was a grand experience.
Yes, it is. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So tell me, which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this specific time in history?
I guess speaking, since it was through Alan Stein.
I know that guy.
He's hard to forget.
Well, you know, it is fascinating in prepping for this interview. There are a few other things you do as well, right? It seems as though you do a ton around crisis and preparing companies around what can be seen as crisis. Is that correct?
This is correct. This is my area of expertise.
Tell us more, please.
Sure. So I help organizations become what I call is crisis ready, which means that it's more than crisis preparedness. It's more than having a plan that's sitting on a shelf. It's embedding a culture where the entire organization, every single member of the team knows three things. They know exactly what risk looks like. So they understand how to identify it in real time. Once it's identified, they know how to assess its material impact on the organization. So, is it an issue versus is it a crisis? And then from there, they're empowered and trained not just to put the issue or the crisis to bed, as in to manage it, but to manage it in a way that actually fosters increased trust and credibility in the brand. So that to me is what it means to be crisis ready.
Love it, love it. So, who did you learn the skill of being detail oriented from? And that's a guess. I'm guessing there, right? Is it correct? Are you a detail oriented individual?
It is correct. Mind you, people don't usually put it that way. So, but yes, you are correct. And who I learned this skill from, not really anybody. What I do, I'm learning more and more, is really just ingrained into the human that I am, which is why I suppose it comes so naturally to me and why I'm so passionate about it.
It is important, isn't it? When looking at your videos on melissaagnes.com, it was well put together and not in the format of you're not sure about your stuff. Even if you were not, you're a great actor. I was very much impressed with
Well, I try not
the
to act.
content.
Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. I really think you have found your passion, it would seem, and I love how you're communicating that, which even extends into the podcast that you've started as well. Tell us a bit about that, please.
Sure. So it's called the Invincible Brand podcast, and really, there's so many facets and layers to building brand invincibility. And the invincibility piece comes in with if you have an organization that's crisis ready. So if you have an entire team that understands how to detect, assess, and respond to any type of negative event in a way that fosters increased trust and credibility in your brand, then in essence you have an invincible brand that can withstand and weather any storm. So and because that's such a cultural piece, it's not about having a stagnant plan that sits on a shelf, but having a culture that lives and breathes a bunch of what I call my crisis ready rules. The podcast gets to explore the different dynamics of my crisis ready model. So there's 5 stages to becoming crisis ready, and the podcast just kind of gets to look at, what are the different aspects of a crisis ready culture and what does that mean? We explore, crises and things that have happened, and I get to interview some really interesting people and talk about their experience and how they managed it and what was their thought process behind it and the strategy and the triumphs and the challenges and all of these different facets. So that is kind of the idea behind the podcast.
Why will you continue to repeat what you're doing? I mean, you're seeing the both sides of the coins, right? You're seeing what it is and what it takes to build a brand that is invincible, as well as you're teaching it, which means you know the ups and downs. Why will you continue nevertheless?
Because it really is who I am, and I am my best self when I am doing this work.
Love it. Well, tell me, please, one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
Another thing other than this, I think it's just about continuously checking in with myself and making sure that I'm aligned with my own, happiness and what I want out of my life, and constantly evaluating that and moving towards whatever that path is.
How does that make you feel?
It gives me purpose and it makes me feel intrinsically happy,
Why would you suggest other people do that?
because everybody deserves intrinsic happiness.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Amazing audience. Again, you're hearing it live here from Melisa Agnes. Do check her out. It seems as though melissaagnes.com is definitely a hub for everything you do. Is that accurate?
Yes, this is accurate.
Wonderful. Well, let's switch gears for a moment now. Melissa, let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Melissa, what is your earliest childhood memory?
My parents fighting and not noticing that I was noticing.
How old do you think you were?
I was about 2.5.
Why do you think this memory is so clear?
Because it was so emotional.
How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
Oh, there's a lot about it. Crisis management, risk mitigation, following happiness. There's a whole lot around that.
And that's amazing, isn't it? How it connects.
Yes, it is.
Can I offer a slight interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Absolutely.
I love the concept of sometimes we interpret failure as something that indicates stopping. But I love how your image has shown the value in failing, or even the value more accurately in being hurt or seeing what pain can be. And to see that you've transformed that, where you've decided that you're going to help others understand and also prevent something like crisis happening. It's really beautiful for me how that connects.
Thank you. That was beautifully said, and I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
I don't know that I was 12. I think I was 13, but it's the only one that I can remember, and it was "The Boy Is Mine" by Brandy and Monica.
Yeah. I'm totally amazed by how these things connect, or you can draw a line. Sometimes it's a thread, but definitely there's crisis in there, right? The boy is mine.
Well, you know it, and the reason is just that my best friend growing up, that was kind of like our song. One of us would take one of the two roles, and we'd just kind of have fun playing it out. So that's why.
All right, my friend. Well, we've arrived at our destination. But before we get off of this time machine, there is a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Melissa, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Many people in any way that it can serve them.
Are you married?
Divorced.
Do you have children?
No, I do not.
Do you believe in God?
Not in the form of religion.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Of course.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
I have no time to do such a thing.
Wow, how about 3 hours a week?
Not even.
Wow, what about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8?
Absolutely. Oh, it's definitely more than 8.
All right. If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Melisa Agnes, what would you say that is?
I would say that I wish every human the strength to understand, own, and live their truth, so long that it doesn't hurt other people.
Love it. Melissa, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Not that I can think of, just that I'm very grateful to have chatted with you.
Hey, this has been a fun conversation. I as well. I'm very, very much thankful for this conversation. Melisa Agnes, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you so much, Angel.
You're welcome. Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.